Hello and welcome back. I'm John Hayes and this is day 4 of the video series. And today I want to share with you one of my favorite proverbs. It's in the Bible, it's from the book of Proverbs. It's Proverbs 30, verse 18. I'm going to read it for you. There are three things that are too amazing for me, four that I do not understand: the way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of a ship on the high seas, and the way of a man with a maiden. I've always liked this proverb, and in fact, it actually had a key role to play in how I got married. Here's the story with that. So when I got engaged, at the time I was a high school teacher. I taught at a small classical Christian school, and one of my classes was a group of 10th graders, mostly girls. I think there were one or two guys in there. It was mostly girls, and I'd known some of these students for several years, and I had been teaching them something like 2 or 3 years at the time. And I think that one of the things that they were always wondering about and probably discussing among themselves was, when is Mr. Hayes going to get married? Is he ever going to get married? When is that going to happen? Who is it going to be? What's that going to be like? Well, in the fullness of time, I met the woman who would become my wife. We met, we fell in love, and we decided to get married. And so I was engaged, and it was time to tell my students. And I thought, how am I going to do this? I mean, I can't just stand up and tell them per se. I mean, this is kind of a big deal. I've got to find the right way to do it. And so I decided to work it into one of my lectures, one of my class presentations. And that's what I did. So I was preparing my notes, and then I wrote off in the margin, okay, right here, pause, and do X, Y, and Z. So the day came, and this was a church history class, and I don't remember exactly what I was teaching about. I think it was early church history, like the first 200 or 300 years of church history. Might have had something to do with interpreting the Bible allegorically. I'm not sure, but I was doing my thing. I was lecturing and presenting, some questions and all of that. Then we got to this one point, and I said, there's actually a scripture that speaks to this, and so let's actually do this. And so I got out my Bible. I think it was this actual copy, my old NIV study Bible, and I said, this is in the book of Proverbs, and I read it out. There are three things that are too amazing for me, four that I do not understand: the way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of a ship on the high seas, and the way of a man with a maiden. And I said, this is very true. The way of a man with a maiden, it's a deep mystery, and there's just so much here. And in fact, I think there's something I want to tell you, I need to announce. Mr. Hayes is getting married. And there was just this stunned silence for I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds. And then just this explosion of joyful chaos. Like the one or two guys are, they're there like, hey, all right, Mr. Hayes, way to go. But, the girls are just freaking out, it was crazy. And of course, that was pretty much the end of the class. I mean, the rest of the class was just, how did it happen? And who is she? And tell us more. And when are you going to get married? And, what are you going to wear? And all this type of stuff. It was really, really a beautiful thing. And I think all of those students were there at our wedding a few months later. They and their parents and the whole staff, just all of this. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And certainly, in my life, finding my wife, the decision we made to get married, oh, what a blessing. It's just like, a blessing among blessings. Just amazing. If you think about it in terms of an investment, this is the best investment I've ever made by a long shot. It just keeps paying dividends like nothing else. And it's going to continue to pay dividends. This is like my insurance policy that can't fail. And, it's like I said the other day about raising a son. When it comes to marriage, I heartily recommend it. It's not for the faint of heart. There are risks involved. Certainly it's not for everybody, but it's definitely something worth considering. And for many people, it is just one of the wisest and smartest moves you can make. And certainly this whole thing that the proverb talks about, when a man and a woman come together and there's that chemistry and the romance, and then they decide to get married and to build a life together. Mm, there are mysteries in life, and then there are mysteries. And this is one of the great and wonderful mysteries of life. So, I don't know where you're watching this video. Maybe you're on Facebook, maybe somewhere else. But, please go to the website, www.joyaftergrief.com. And, you can get on my email list there. If you sign up, you'll get updates on my book, progress reports, maybe some excerpts, and some other things as well. There's also a wonderful recording you get, for signing up. It's an interview I did with Dr. Al Rossi about, hope in life after grief. And of course, you can make a donation to the J Fund when you're there at the site. So check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.